symbol of excellence in sports entertainment.
Hamin Media Group. This is NXT. Next Level Podcast.
All right, Ben Hamin, Yalla. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, joining us here for your Next Level Wrestling Review, your Next Level Podcast. I am the reporter of the people, the man with the plan, Big Ray, here to say to talk some lucha libre, which is your Spanish lesson for wrestling today. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you, see, I'm still learning how to do this. I should fade this thing out, but neither here nor there. Ladies and gentlemen, he is your golden Ayatollah. Yes, I said your golden Ayatollah. Yes. Beautiful sounds. Ben Hamin.
Yes.
What is going on, my brother, this morning? Let that roll.
Ooh. Yes, Infidels, right. We're back. Next Level Podcast. Speaking Spanish on Cinco de Mayo. Oye, ¿cómo va mi ritmo? How you doing this morning, Big Ray? Bueno, puedo gozar. Mulata. Yeah, that's right, pal. We're back here, man. It's a hard-hitting episode of Next Level, man, with everybody putting in that work. But we'll see if it was booked the right way. A lot of strange agenting choices this week in WWE that would have some people in the office getting chewed out if I was in charge. But we're going to chew the fat here today. Me and Big Ray, not so fat anymore. We're working hard, man, on that Stevie Richards fitness program, trying to be the best us we can be and, inspire everybody around us. So let's get back to developmental and make these talents into stars here on the Next Level Review. Y'all.
Well, Ben, I mean, you know what? You did mention something to me.
Yo.
Yes, it is Cinco de Mayo. Hi. It's too early for this shit. Ben Hamin, Cinco de Mayo. You have any plans today, Ben?
Yeah, man, I'm kicking out from, not feeling too well, so I don't want to put the margaritas to me or anything. I might get a little taquitos, some chorizo, queso bandito, do a little bandito. All that.
Sorry.
Yeah,
So when I hear this music, it just, I don't know, it does something.
I love
to
it,
me,
dude. I love that sound. I don't listen to enough of it, but I love when I go into taquerias in Chicago or even now where I live. There's 2 or 3 new Mexican places that are pretty authentic, for what you can get outside of the cities. And I love when I go in and I hear that horn and I hear that guitar, and it adds to the entire experience. I love that music, man.
Well, I want to give a big shout out to the people in the chat right now. We got Classified Chappie joining us. We have Frank's Pickle Barrel Ass.
Yeah,
He pops for some reason, Andrew Bello, every single time he reads his name. Who else we got in here?
Cujo's in the house, Sonic the Hedgerat, all the heavy hitters. We're only a handful strong, but I'm sure we'll be up over 30 here soon as we wake up. It's Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, yeah.
So you're enjoying that Cuervo, Silver Patron, whatever you got going down, man. Maybe a little Modelo, maybe a little Corona today. Enjoy that chips and salsa, amigos. And shout out to all my Latino brethren out there. Shout out to my man, Big Dave Barajas, Diesel Power out there in Chicago.
Yeah.
Homie, man, that's my dude out there. He introduced me to so many Latin foods, and we worked together at Whole Foods. And dude, and all the homies at Whole Foods would make just copious amounts of fresh guacamole, and they taught me how to do it, man. So I got a little bit of Latino flavor in my cooking as well, and but Diesel introduced me to carnitas and all that, man. So a great friend of mine, and I'm glad to be able to have a little bit of Latino influence in my life that way, especially with you as well, man.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Hey, there's no walls built here, man. We let Big shout out to my boy. Who's that?
No se preocupen, Speedy González se los trae. ¡Yepa, yepa, y arriba, arriba!
Jingle.
Man, that's one of my favorite guys, man. You know, it's so funny because Speedy Gonzalez, they canceled him apparently. And I always saw him as like a fucking superhero, dude. Like a fucking mouse that could run like the Flash and shit and fuck cats up. I don't know, man.
Yeah, he was over, but they just don't want the Mexican, while speaking English. Like I could see where that'd be like, okay, but dude, if you're gonna get pissed off about a cartoon from 50 years ago, how bad is your fucking life really? You know, like if that's what you got to cunt off about, let's do a little inventory on how good you fucking got it. You know what I'm saying, man? So great stuff that way, dude. And you're my number one cabrones, the caballero top the stallion here today, man. I appreciate you getting things kicked off early, buddy.
I'm a cabron. Hey guys, don't forget to follow us on Patreon, guys. Go to patreon.com/Hamin Media Group, as you can read down here. You know, there's a whole bunch of shit that I didn't know I could do here on StreamYard that kind of stooged off to me.
Yeah, so, I should be doing more of that as well. These little banners and all that shit too, man. But the production looks great. I love these backgrounds that we miss them. Old Athers helped hook us up with, man, and I appreciate you doing that extra production to help promote everything we got going on. I actually slept better last night, not just from kicking out of not feeling well, but got good news yesterday of where we're going in the future, with Realm Network and all that. And
wait a second. Hold on. I actually have this set up here. All right, hold on. I'm so excited. Do we have some breaking news?
Yeah. Yes.
Go ahead, knock it out, brother.
Yeah, we're gonna be working with Realm Network, and there's gonna be so much opportunity in the next 2 years of what we have to build foundation-wise. I'm gonna hold a State of the Union address with the HMG office on Friday. So I'll be putting some stuff up in the office there, not just for our close-knit producers meeting, but I want to get everybody's, excitement driven, because there's going to be so much like expansion. It's going to be unbelievable with our own website build out, with Realm Network, with new opportunities already with Larry Hank. And that's been just great. And Larry hit me up yesterday. He loved the little trailer. That made me feel so good, man.
I gotta tell you, that shit that you the intro that you made is fucking awesome, dude.
Thanks, man. It took me about 3.5 hours of going through an After Effects tutorial, but came out as good, if not better, than I could have hoped, man. Because I had it in my mind, and I was trying to do it in Premiere, and it wasn't working the way I wanted to. I did some research, and you can teach yourself anything if you know how to self-smart yourself, as Ricky would say. I went through it once and kind of botched in the middle, and I was like, all right, I know how to get to this far, so let me go back and redo it. And then I got to that part and completed it, and it looks just like the Breaking Bad opening, and I couldn't be happier with it, and I think he is too. And then the end I tried to do, because Larry was on, he was talking about that he was on, what's the Michael J. Fox show?
Family Ties.
Family Ties. Mm-hmm. So I took the outro to that, and I've been trying to do 80s, where they used to just flash a picture that would be something that was in there. It is a still scene, and it just really comes together well and tells a story. So I was really happy to create a little piece of art to help produce. But thank you, man. You know what it takes to do these types of things. It takes studio hours and just time. And once you have a piece of art afterwards, and you're like, it's done. It's never really done. You're like, well, I could do this, but you set it out free to the world, and they enjoy it, and I feel real good about it, man.
Well, it's funny because people don't understand what it actually. Well, some people don't understand what it actually takes to produce something like that. So basically, you have to come up with a concept, come up with an idea, right? Then you have to figure out the program that's going to make it easiest for you to do it. Mm-hmm. And then when you get that program, it's not going to be easy, because you have to actually create every single part of that. It's so everything's moving. It's a 1 minute piece can take you hours and hours to do. Speaking of that, Ben,
that was 15 seconds, took me 3 hours.
No shit. And that's the labor of love, man. And just a heads up, I'm actually creating, you see how so we have the NXT intro, the music. I'm actually going to create a video. I didn't know I could do a video intro here that will cut in So that's gonna
really?
be cool.
That's great, man. Too.
Yeah.
It's awesome, and I've been wanting to learn. I've considered myself pretty adept user of Premiere, but I've known After Effects for years. I just don't really dive into it because in Adobe, you can be like just a video editor. You can be just an After Effects Jedi and fucking be awesome at that. And that's something I've been wanting to do. So I just said, you're going to fucking get in there and do it. Because I wanted to do the fucking big guitar gimmick in the beginning. But that smoke behind it, whatever, that meth smoke and the periodic table zooming in, I just couldn't do it and make it look quality in Premiere. So I was like, hacker, you got to fucking humble yourself and do it, man. And it turned out, I will say, it turned out great. So thankful for the tutorial guy who made it, and I'm glad you guys are enjoying it, dude. And one other thing, man, I'm not trying to be Mr. Investment Advice here, but I know a lot of people are pumped with Doggy Coin, bro. Up over 60 cents, man.
Really?
Yeah, dude. I bought it at 3 cents. So it's going sky high, and I think it's going to hit $1 with Elon Musk on Saturday Night Live this weekend. So you really got a chance to kind of double up your money, even if you're getting in at a higher cost. But people are also telling me about Anchor Coin, ANKR.
Anchor Coin. Does that have anything to do with the company Anchor?
No, it's not anything to do with that. It's and I'm still pretty green to this, but I was talking to one of our listeners of the W last night on the watch along. Got to check out the W, he put me onto that. I did a little research, so I just bought some this morning. They're at 16 cents, and they're expecting the same thing to kind of happen. So I want all of our listeners, don't go ballistic and dump your whole fucking paycheck if you can't afford it. But I want all of us to grow together as a community, wealth-wise, health-wise, and I wanted to let you know that hashtag ANKR, or it's not, excuse me, $ANKR. Look it up on Twitter and see what's going on with it. And I put just like $120 into it. But I might try and do a little more. But man, if we can start taking $60 and turn it into $1,000. You know what I mean? That's what I want us all to grow together, man. And I know you got weddings to pay for on the way, so money's probably tight. But I would love to see you put 100 in and then cash out 500 and be like, well, that's taken care of. Like, you know.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to try and give you a little tip of what somebody told me last night. But I had to invest in it through Coinbase, the app that way. I couldn't find it on Robinhood. But you know, I just want to try and pass on any information for anybody who can make some cash, dude.
I wonder if it's on Acorns. I'm gonna have to ask you later to see if I can find it.
No, Acorn. No. What Acorn does is roundups into mutual funds. So
you can also invest in
crypto.
You can invest in specific companies there.
Okay, maybe, but I think it works just a little bit. But I can try and send you the info I have, man. The opinion havers in the house. He says, acknowledge me. Of course, we have to acknowledge and salute the vet, the co-host with Colin. Before Ray, I had to switch it up because of the flip-flop with Impact and and NXT moving off. But good to see you, vet, this morning. Thanks for all you're doing, brother. Appreciate you, my OVW brother.
I got to tell you, the vet is over. Colin is
just ask him; he'll tell you.
I gotta tell you, man, it's so cool how everything always seems to work out really well. You know, we have people that come and go, we have people that leave, people that join us, and you know, the vet has been a fantastic addition to your Impact attack over with Colin Wysong, my brother. I love that. I
agree, man. The vet has a mind for this business and a love for it, and he's an interesting opinion haver. He lives up to his name, man, and sticks by his guns. And even if he disagrees with you, he's got an open enough mind to listen to what you're saying and doesn't shut people out. So mad respect to those guys, and miss doing Impact, but we'll be having a lot of fun here as well. This was a pretty crazy first hour on this show, so I'm excited to talk about it down the road here. But good to see you, Ray, man.
Good
I just want to say
too.
Happy May the 5th, Cinco de Mayo, or Revenge of the Sith, Biff on a whiff, whatever you're fucking doing out there, man.
Star Trek over strong. Yeah. Right. So
I want to enjoy it.
Every time Greek God Papadon sees somebody do this, I wonder if he gets a little fucking shiver inside. What do you think?
I guess, but I mean, you can't compare the two of like epicness.
I think Star Trek is way better than Star Wars.
No
I'm
way,
sorry.
not even close.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
It doesn't tell nearly the same Shakespearean level stories. The weapons aren't as cool. The speech is fucking way. They're trapped in a ship most of the fucking time. You don't go to all these different worlds and do swipes. It's nowhere near as exciting. The weapons suck.
Nah, but it's reality. Come on, you know that. You know you got a pointy-eared alien out there.
It's like watching a government function versus a pirates do what they want to do. But you know, Star Wars and the pirates, fucking Star Trek is some boring government job to me. That's what the difference in the feeling of it is. If they got their fans, so be it. I'm not trying to shit on what you love, like especially with Triple D and the Academy podcast. Great show here.
Oh yeah! All right, Ben. We got a lot of stuff to talk about today. I'm excited to see people joining us in the chat. Thank you guys. Scott Woodford has joined us also. Big shout out to you, my friend. Hey, Ben. You know what, man? I got some good three good topics here. So why don't we just jump into the one? Yo, you want to hit the fucking cough button, Chief?
Yeah, I am hitting the cough button. You couldn't hear nothing.
I could hear everything.
You can't hear this at all.
I swear to God, I could hear you right now.
Oh, well, that's because we're probably logged in. I don't think they are. We're logged into the same thing. That's why.
Can everybody hear the hacking of the hacker, Ben Hamin? While he does that, let's jump into the one, the two, the three counts.
This is your next level 3 count with the biggest pro wrestling, MMA, and world news stories of the day. Now, back to Big Ray and Ben Hamin.
For real though, you can. If I hit the mute right here, like you can still hear me right now.
I can hear you. Yeah,
that's so weird, dude.
It is weird. Can you hear me?
That's got to be something where we're both logged into StreamYard, and because you did it first, it's like a master on slave. I can hear you, but when I hit my mute button, my normal cough button, dude, it's usually when I'm hosting, you know, that'd be fine. So that's interesting. So if I do sorry, blasting coughs in the mic, you guys.
No, I don't know if they can hear it.
They can, because when I hit the mute button, I mute myself in my own headphones. I can't hear shit.
Can you hear me when I'm coughing? Because I've hit the mute button. Hold on, let me try.
Hit mute.
Nothing.
I can hear you.
Oh man, well, you don't want to hear that. It's disgusting. No. All right, so I'm gonna play this little audio here. It's about 1 minute 33 seconds. This is our first story of the 3 count, and this is some fucked up shit, Ben. So here we go.
Intellectually disabled man who was enslaved by a restaurant owner in South Carolina for 5 years should be awarded $546,000, a court ruled. In 2019, Bobby Paul Edwards, who owned the J&J cafeteria in Conway, South Carolina, pleaded guilty to 1 count of forced labor for coercing an African-American man with an intellectual disability to work extensive hours at a restaurant for no pay, and was sentenced to 10 years in prison, the Justice Department said in a press release at the time. As part of the settlement, Edwards was also ordered to pay back John Christopher Smith $273,000 in unpaid wages and overtime compensation.
Good.
Edwards forced Smith to work over 100 hours a week without pay. He would beat him with a belt, fists, and pots and pans. On April 21, 2020, the Court of Appeals for the Fourth Circuit ruled that Smith was entitled to double that amount, which would be $546,000.
All right, I'm gonna shut it down because the fucking background music.
Yeah, but no, I get it. This guy's a grade A piece of shit.
Wow.
To take advantage of a mentally handicapped man, physically assaulting him with pots and pans and 100 hours a week, man. Like, yeah, I think the price tag's a bit low. Cujo says 546,000. I think dude should be over $1 million based on that alone. This is, you know, I don't want to say this guy's human traffic, but it's the slave labor mentality that goes along with that of what can you get away with until you think you can get caught and you get more bold. I actually saw a very similar story to this, and I'll kick it back to you, but Latino woman at IHOP, who was an undocumented worker, they weren't paying her too. They hadn't paid her for over a month. And even, yeah, in the back, you know, in the kitchen and dish dogging, and the whole backstage, the whole back kitchen crew said, fuck, even if they were documented, said, fuck you, you're going to pay Rosa or we're out of here. And the lady's like, well, I just don't have the clearance. And they're like, fuck you, bitch, peace out, restaurant full of people. And they walked up to the manager, who sounded like a white guy, couldn't really see him on camera.
Right.
And he's like, he goes, you don't know how many laws we've broken since we just opened the stores. There's dozens. And I saw it on World Star. So whether it's an independent private business like this with just a normal shit bag, or fucking IHOP and that's one IHOP. Imagine across the country what the fuck is going on in these kitchens of abuse of people, regardless if they're here illegally or not. And that goes for woke companies like Whole Foods. You think they don't got people in the fucking back too doing the exact same thing? Here comes the Whole Foods lawsuit. I just assume, but you know, like it doesn't matter, man. There's a lot of just people who are still capitalizing because they're off the misfortune of others because they know they can, instead of doing the right thing for humanity. So I hope Rosa gets her payout. That's where, even as an undocumented worker, an illegal alien in America, if somebody's fucking with them, I don't care if they're Americans or not, they got in my opinion, they got a right to a lawsuit after the abuse is exposed to go over strong on them instead of getting deported for whatever the fuck reason. You know what I mean? Because they hold that fear over their heads. That needs to be the fuck you to them, because doesn't matter. Borders are fucking bullshit, invisible lines anyway that are just a power structure. Humans are humans, and how you treat people is going to come back on you one way or a motherfucking other.
Yeah, man, it's really fucking disgusting that people can, and the reason I talked about this story, I wanted to talk about this story, is because, you know, can you imagine what the fuck like doesn't get caught out there? The people that take event like 100 hours.
I'm saying that, dude. This is one of how many, that World Star video of how many IHOPs. Is there a Rosa at every IHOP that's fucking getting the same type of treatment, bro?
This is fucking shame, man. But there is another quick little story, Ben, and yes, I agree to the people in the chat right now that 500,000 isn't enough for the many years of. See, I didn't hear that cough there. Oh, you turned away.
I muted it on StreamYard, not the Roadcaster.
Got it. I hope I don't. So when we do that on StreamYard, it fucking gets robotic sometimes, right? That's when you go.
I hope not as much because we got the Spectrum upgrade. I haven't seen that, but who knows what the fuck.
I don't think that's a thing. Like when Stevie, I think Stevie, when you guys are doing the Friday locker room, he mutes you on StreamYard because that's when you get robotic. I could tell. I could see his blue eyes staring into the camera, and you could see his little.
I mean, dude, this is technology, dude. Like, oh, it gets robotic. Don't we get a little Hausman with it? Like, in the last 10 years, we've been able to video conference pretty flawlessly from people across the world. And now we're like, hey, you sound robotic. Like, we're such spoiled cunts, where we went from AOL Instant Messenger fucking 20 years ago to fucking where we are now. So if you're pissed about being robotic, shut the fuck up.
Do you remember the first time? Let's be real, guys. Let's be real, guys, gals, everybody out there. Do you remember the first time you got your smartphone and you tried to access some type of porn on that phone? Come on. When I'm talking about all the way back in 3. Am I the only one? I feel
you can go to 95, 96 on the internet with pictures, bro. So we just are such spoiled fucking bitches about every little fucking thing, man. So I'm trying to not even sweat that kind of shit anymore. We got bigger fish to fry.
All right, big man. I'm not going to play this whole clip, but I'm going to give you a little piece of it here. A story just breaking last night. This has to do, well, you know what? I'll just play it real quick. You'll get the gist of it. Here we go.
I pulled you over because
you're a murderer. Yes, I started to record because you're a murderer. You scared me and made me think you were going to murder me.
Okay, well, I'm sorry you feel that way.
Well, that's not just a feeling. You're a murderer.
Okay.
And I'm perfectly legal, and I'm a teacher.
Let me just stop you real quick. This is a teacher that was pulled over. I'm going to play the rest of it. It's only like another 30 seconds. A teacher, a Caucasian female that was pulled over by a Mexican police officer, but he was, Mexican-American police officer. Let's continue.
So there.
Congratulations.
you're a murderer. Here you go, Mexican racist. You're always going to be a Mexican. You'll never be white. You know that, right? You'll never be white, which is what you really want to be.
There you go, dear.
White.
Have a good day.
Wow.
By now, most of you have seen that shocking racist attack on an LA County Sheriff's deputy who was simply just doing his job. I should note the woman you saw hurl those disgusting insults claims to be a teacher. If that's what she says in public, imagine the poison she's spewing in class. What's truly concerning, though, is
I'm going to stop it. I got to hit this button. Oh, of course it doesn't work because I don't have the fucking thing up.
I say dummy. Dummy. Yeah.
Yo, dude.
Yeah, man. I mean,
wow.
Yeah, dude. This is just a disgusting breakdown, and it's California, and it's teachers. And I've had some phenomenal teachers in my life, as we all have, who've inspired us to do, become the great people that we can, the best we can be. That's about 10 to 15%. Most teachers I've known and worked with, whether it's at college level, junior high, high school, or growing up the son of an elementary school teacher, they are comfortable, fucking clueless idiots who think everyone is 8 years old and will bow before them. Otherwise, they're going to put their name on the board. And they get comfortable in this. I've heard elementary school teachers that come over for breakfast to like on Fridays in my parents' house growing up. I've heard them in their little hen circle say some of the dumbest and most ridiculous shit you've ever fucking heard in your life. And the rest of them will just agree, to get the next fucking level of, I got the last word and I said the most stupid thing, and they all oh yes, that's it. They're reinforcing the level of idiocy, and they get caught at a baseline level. And most teachers right out of college get hired. So once you're just out of college, you're still a dumb fuck. You haven't been out in the world and learned anything. You have no experience, and they get right into these positions that are tenured and all this. And so their growth as a human being really stops at age 21, 22. And then every stupid fucking thing that they have in their life gets reinforced, where they are, like this lady says, imagine what they're saying in class, because they think they're untouchable or that no one's going to catch them. And then when it comes out, especially in California with nonstop propaganda and SJW liberal leftist thinking, that this stupid fucking cunt thinks that she can talk to somebody like that, and feeling she wants to at the same time uphold minority women's advocacy and Black Lives Matter, whatever, but at the same time will flip and then claim herself to be a victim because racism is reversed on the white person now. And so she's going in on her Black Lives Matter, Antifa, anti-blue lives fucking spiel right there without saying it. But she doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about. You can hear the ignorance in her stupid fucking voice right away.
I got to read this from Society Reviews, and I kind of agree. It's because of the teachers, and I'm quoting him. It's because the teachers are protected by their unions, privatized all schools, and watch this shit.
I understand that. I understand that point of view, but that's kind of an overarching thing. Dude, in every school I've ever worked in, even college, just watching people being complacent and thinking that they know what they're talking about. And even this goes with the liberal left mindset. They're just going to adopt it because every 4 years in a university, especially lower level ones that take a lot of state money, it's whatever they're going to push is the next wave, e-learning, STEM, what else with nanotechnology. And then these English teachers, who've been there forever, who are just so comfortable because they're making their 60 to 100K and they've got it. It's not the unions. Because you're unionized, it doesn't make you ignorant. That's something that we have to be drawn into to be protected and pay our dues and get fleeced on another fucking tax. That's a whole other conversation. These are women who give more fuck about their Starbucks in the morning than anything else, but they're the ones who are supposed to be the moral compass and divide. They think in their minds. Really, they're more clueless and ignorant to the true ways of the world and how to make a dollar. They've never earned a dollar. They never had to go out there and start a business and do that. And then they get summers off like they're entitled, like, I just worked so hard. Well, that means you're a glorified fucking babysitter. And that's all you really are at the end of the day. You're not an inspirer. And especially if you're a teacher and you have that closed of a mindset, she's done. If she is a teacher, she's done. And that's great. I just hope I hope that fucking she has to go work at Rosa's Spot at IHOP and fucking Dish Dog and understand what real hard work is like, what dealing with other people of all different races working alongside them, not just her little white clique of teachers who regurgitate some echo chamber of what they heard on Good Morning America, whether it's vaccines, fucking kids in camps on the border, shit that they would never do any advocacy for, but they're such professionals because they have teacher next to their fucking name. They're clueless cunts, most of them, bro, and I've worked right alongside them, and I've had them in my own house and heard them. Dude, one time, I won't go into it too hard, but one of them was kicking out from cancer, and, you know, not that any cancer isn't serious, but like, that got the spotlight on her. Oh, we're so da-da-da, and they're all into the cancer talk. I heard one of them say, you know what? It's probably from all the pollution that was in the snow, because we used to eat snow as kids. And they all go, yeah, that's it. That's why she got cancer, because we eat snow when we were kids and there was pollution. I'm going, I just looked at around the corner of the room. I go, what did you just say? So
I say dummy. Dummy. Yeah.
And then they're like, no, that's probably why. And I just go, okay, have a good day, ladies. That's how much they can whip themselves into just running that fucking mouth, and whatever comes out of it, they don't give a shit. They're teachers. They said it. It must be true.
And you know what it reminds me of? I'm sorry to say this, man, but, you know, growing up in a Latino community, whenever like a mom hears something from another mom or somebody else who heard something from somebody else, it's fucking gospel. Like, science goes out the window, facts and reality goes out the window. If they heard this woman, so I'll give you a quick example. My mother one time, I can't exactly remember what it was, but she was sitting in a waiting room in a doctor's office for something, right? We were having a discussion and a disagreement, and she goes, well, I heard this lady, you know, she's a nurse, and she was saying, I'm like, doesn't mean that it was fucking right. I wouldn't say that to my mom. I wouldn't curse at her.
What's killer though is like there's 5 other ones sitting around them going,
exactly. That's what happens.
You're done. You're done here. And anything you say after that, all I got to do is, hey, don't eat the snow. You might get cancer, everybody.
Jesus
like, just what the fuck? Just do teachers who should be teaching people how to learn. That's really what a teacher's function is, even after your students leave your class, as opposed to, I'm right, this is my gospel, and da-da-da. And Frank, I see your wife's a teacher. Like I said, dude, I can name a dozen teachers who inspired me to become me, but I can also name 3-4 dozen who've got their heads shoved up their ass sideways when it comes to any type of free thought, free thinking, free speech, where it's going. But they want to play the victim on both sides, and they think they're empowered just because they've been standing in front of a classroom that people have to kowtow to them for whatever stupid ass reason.
Here's the deal. Like one of my best friends, man, his wife is a teacher, and there are teachers out there. See, this isn't I don't think this is even a, I get it what you're coming from, being a teacher thing, because my boy's wife actually loves the kids. She puts in like our boy here 70+ hours, you know, planning, putting in her own money and shit. But yes, you do have some assholes out there that are empowered by titles. That's what I'm talking about. Like, this is what this story is about. This woman, you know, she has the title of single white female in America. She has the title of a teacher, quote unquote educator, and she thinks she's better than this police officer that's pulling over for probably doing something stupid on the road. She probably went through a fucking stop sign or you know.
And this is a knee-jerk reaction where in her mind it goes this quick. George Floyd, da-da-da, police murdered him. I'm about Black Lives Matter because I'm woke, so I'm going to call him a murderer. Oh, but he's a Latino guy. That is a minority too that I stick up for. But then Latinos probably hate us, and look at me, I'm white. You can't be like, that's how fast these things go in their retarded head, that they try and justify and tie these things to where it then turns into Latinos wish they were white, but they weren't. So how can I have the upper hand? How can I make this cop feel like he's an 8-year-old who's about to get his name on the board? That's the only thing she does. And what comes out of that mouth is just absolute ridiculous trash for her to justify that. That's one where I would love to see that world star where he just fucking takes the taser, puts it right to her neck, and fucking lets her rip for about 5 seconds, bro.
I agree with Ken Sorrell. Do not eat yellow snow. Well, Some yellow snow is over. I mean,
I guess, man.
Are you damn? I didn't think this one's gonna get you so hot this morning, bro.
This is an id of me and my family of things I've heard my mother saying and the people around her reinforcing that ridiculousness. And I taught college for 5 years. I've seen it. I've seen it in every level. I've seen people who are way past their prime, who are tenured, guy teaching media and fundamentals. He's teaching about radio from 1960 and 70 on how to do things in that era instead of bouncing this guy out the door when we're in a new media era. But because he's tenured and he was there as the top guy, we got to wait until he's ready to retire. Now you're gone, bro. Get out of here. His students would come from his class to mine and go, dude, that was one of the most brutal things. Like every day, like that was so brutal that we had to sit through that. And then you get a real dose of open conversation, free-flowing thought back and forth, and me learning from them. That's what education truly is. And you know what it is when you see what it isn't, and what it shouldn't be.
No doubt, man. Again, this is I don't know if this is, dude, I totally understand where you're coming from, with the empowerment titles, teachers and people who they're can I tell you a quick little story? This
always week, it's your show too.
This week at work. So nothing against Hasidic Jews, but my experience with very religious Jewish people at times, and I'm talking about the guys that wear the black hats with the gimmicks hanging from their hats and stuff like that. I've had
Hasidic Jews, yeah.
Right. I've had experiences where they can be extremely rude and demanding.
Sure.
This is my personal experience. So I was at the door. And long story short, I had these two gentlemen come to my door, and they weren't wearing masks or whatever. It doesn't matter. But we have certain rules in the building. The guy's trying to make his way into my lobby, and he goes, "So I work at 166. That's 166 East, whatever, right?" So he goes, "Hey, is this 170?" So he's yelling at me first. I'm like, "No, sir, this is not 170. This is 166. So where's 170?" I said, 170 doesn't exist, sir. You might have the wrong address. Maybe if you can give me a cross street. What do you mean? I don't know what do you mean? This has to be it. And I'm like, no, sir, this is a residential building. This is not what you're looking for. And he goes, well, don't you work here? Don't you know anything? Dude, I looked at the guy. I was like, and I was with one of the other residents who I'm really fucking cool with. It just came out. I shouldn't have said it, but I was like, yo, you know what? I know exactly where it is. It's up your ass. That's where it is. And if you didn't have a fucking flip phone, then you would fucking have a GPS. And that's what he had, a fucking old school flip phone. I slammed the door, locked the door, and David, oh shit. Well, there's plenty of Davids in my building, but he fucking was crying. And then he went off on how rude they can be. I believe
but that's reinforced in kind of the same way, because in his circle, religious family, whatever,
he used to be a rabbi, to be honest with you.
But that's how they interact with each other. So outside of hey, what is I'm gonna be super stereotypical here right now. Like, tell me what this is. Back and forth. They like the high drama, and it seems to like someone who's just a calm, like have your So that's how he operates in his little world all the fucking time, reinforced by a small collective of people who also operate in that mentally insane mindset. That's the same as, I got cancer from the snow. Oh yeah, she did. Absolutely. So if that becomes the norm, when he has to go out and interact with normal society and other people aren't doing the same, and he keeps pushing, that's just who he is. And it takes, I don't got a problem when you tell him to shove it up his ass, because that's what it takes to $5 face slap them and dude, you're not in your little clique. You better fucking wise up and know who you're talking to. Like, you don't talk to everybody like that. And if they got a problem with it, that's on them. They led the situation to get to that point, and who knows? Maybe you go back before pre-World War II, and it was one incident like that that started the whole bullshit, where someone can't understand how someone else can act like that. So there is a fundamental of, all right, maybe I need to take and just say this person is in a sect, which I think all religion is poison and brainwashing, and that's why they act like that. So their human interaction is different. Same as Amish, right? They're speaking fucking Dutch and German from 200 years ago making their own clothes, but they want to interact in society in Walmart and expect people not to be like, what's going on, you know?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's I understand. I don't have a problem with you telling him to shove it up his ass, especially if you were trying to be cordial the first couple of lines and then he wants to make it personal. Well, you can go get fucked. I don't give a shit if you think you're a character walking around in a costume to please your God. That doesn't do shit to me. That's why I play a Muslim extremist to fucking bag on that, dude. Because that shit's bullshit to me too.
Homeboy had an early 2000s flip phone. I was anyway, is what it is. All right, so number 3 story, Ben, here on the 3 count. It's a couple of quick pro wrestling stories. So apparently, Daniel Bryan, I don't know if you guys spoke about this. I haven't been able to listen much.
This is kind of weird back and forth, but go ahead.
What do you mean back and forth?
Well, William Alcia reports in the Hamin media discussion group that he's possibly contract up and that he may be able to go anywhere. But then Daniel Bryan 2 days ago said, because there people were saying September, he goes, no, my contract's not up in September. So they didn't say it wasn't up earlier, but it's made it alluded to that it's still going to be locked in. And I can't believe WWE would let him go because AEW would snap him up like that.
So check this out. So according to ringsidenews.com, and also I verified it with a bunch of other sites that I do know, this popped up actually last night. And I quote, Daniel Bryan is a veteran in pro wrestling, in the pro wrestling business, having wrestled. Okay. So it says, okay. So Bryan also, okay. What the hell is on? Okay. So according to a report by Fightful Select, it was stated by various sources in and outside of the WWE that Daniel Bryan's contract either expired last week or was set to expire last week after he lost, he lost to Roman Reigns on a Friday Night SmackDown. So anyway, long story short, they moved Daniel Bryan to the alumni section. If you go to WWE.com.
Yeah, that's just to put the storyline of SmackDown over. I don't like if the sheets are buying onto that, then you're a fucking mark, bro. You're a fucking mark.
I did hear that his contract had expired last week.
That would have been huge news. I think the sheets have got this all upside down and backwards, and they're marking out for little things that WWE Creative is doing. And there's, if any dirt sheet writer worth the salt, there's plenty of ways to get to Daniel Bryan for the Real Stooge report. So this hearsay, I'm kind of not selling for it at all until, there's something way more concrete.
All right. Well, let me ask you a quick question then. Let's say WWE did release Daniel Bryan or let him go, or
that'd be stupid.
So what? All right. So what will be next for the American Dragon?
Oh, he definitely would go to. He'd probably show up in New Japan to fucking face Omega off of some shit, and then they'd be in AEW together. That's about the only two real options. People were saying, well, he used to be with ROH and he loved it, dude. Why would Daniel Bryan? I don't give a shit. For whatever reason, why would he want to leave WWE to go to ROH? It's just not going to happen that way, dude. Especially with, and I like ROH, what they've done in a reboot, and our own Angelina Love is doing great things with the Allure there.
Sure.
We had seen Mike and Maria getting a shot back over there. There's plenty of unbelievable talent there, but I don't see Daniel Bryan go, I got to get out of WWE to go to ROH, bro. Like, there's no way. There's no way.
I mean, if Daniel Bryan is that passionate pro wrestler that just loves wrestling, I'm sure he's made quite enough money. I think he's a very frugal person. Cough button. Oh man, I turned it back on too. Anyway, I think he's made enough money to do that if he wanted to. So I don't think it's crazy to think that Daniel Bryan would go. I was going to say MLW, but they're working with WWE now. Going to Impact Wrestling, going to New Japan Pro Wrestling, doing
nobody who can afford them.
How much you think? How much you think Daniel Bryan?
Oh, bro, he's a $500,000 to $1 million player. Like,
you're talking
no
about
way that Impact can afford that.
Per performance.
Oh, you're just per performance basis,
right?
To book him, I'd say $20,000.
Wow, $20,000.
Rob RVD was 10 for the Indies, so why wouldn't you get fucking 20 for Daniel? If he goes any lower than that, he's underselling himself.
Man, I don't know, man.
I bet 2CW would come up with $20,000 to have him on the reunion show.
How much would all right? So let's say you're a small indie promotion, right, or smaller indie promotion like 2CW, and you got a guy that's $20,000. How much are you looking to make with a guy that you pay.
Well, you can't. There's only two ways to make that money back: autograph signing, 50-50 split, and pay-per-view buys. Because you'll never pack a house to make the gate just off of him for 20 grand. Maybe like. Say we were in Watertown and we could or Elmira, we could hold 2,000 and tickets were $25 on average, right? So right there we're at 50K. So maybe you could do that and sell it out if you had the dream match, because maybe 2CW could do this. They could get Omega versus Daniel Bryan for the first time ever at the reunion show if he really wanted to.
Have they ever wrestled?
Josh is what's that?
Have they ever wrestled? Anybody in the chat?
I don't know. I don't know if Omega wrestled Dragon or not, but that's what 2CW does better than anybody else ever did, was dream booking, and that's where the neutral ground is, because 2CW isn't Impact ROH affiliated, but we take all those guys and use them better than anybody else does, and give the fans these matches like a Sami Callihan versus a Rob Van Dam on a Monday night than nobody else did before. So there is possibilities there, but there's only one, maybe two or three promoters that got the pockets deep enough and the connections and the foresight to make that happen.
All right, so I'm hearing here that how do you say his name?
They worked each other, Chef and Angle.
Yeah, so they worked each other in ROH. So I gotta look that up. I would like to see that match. That was back in the day when Kenny Omega wasn't all fucking pissed off by being an authority figure.
Yeah, I don't know, but is that gonna draw the ticket on the indies? I think 2CW could do it. I don't know any others off the top of my head that I'm like, yeah, that's the spot for it.
All right, two more quick stories really quickly. AEW has never been interested in Tessa Blanchard. So I'm going to just paraphrase everything here. Basically, because of Tessa Blanchard's, let's just say, attitude, apparently AEW has never, ever been interested, according to multiple sources. And also, this is ringsidenews.com. Thank you to them. And prowrestlingnews.com reporting the same story, that AEW has no interest in ever using Tessa Blanchard because she is a quote-unquote cancer in the locker room. Ben, is there any truth to this, dude?
Well, we had the racist incident in Japan, I guess. I don't know. There's been other things I can't recall off the top of my head where there's been heat with other people and she just thinks she's over and doesn't seem humble.
Didn't she shit on video or something like that, or
on audio for some cameo thing, and
gross.
And then I can't remember what happened at the end of the Impact run either, but yeah, dude,
she didn't want to lose the title or something like that.
She didn't want to give up the strap, and she left with it, right? And
yeah, she left. That was fucked up,
bro. Like 1, 2, 3, 4 strike plus. Who knows what else? And if she just thinks she's over, can she wrestle? Yeah. Is she humble and is her mind ready to do business? No. Why? Because she probably thinks she's a real champ in a phony sport, which shows me you're a mark for yourself, and that you'll go to. I think that's a smart move by Tony Khan. Why would you bring somebody in based off of all of their history and other people who've worked with her who probably saying, dude, don't do it. It's not worth it. To do what? Like, is she really going to make that women's division? I mean, Tessa versus Serena, Tessa versus Rosa are two good matches. But what happens when she doesn't want to do business for Statlander or Sheeta or any of that shit, and she's not humble? Or she'll come in and act super humble, and then you're just waiting for the shoe to drop to be like, okay, where's the real you that we all know? You know what I mean? I think she's got a lot of growing up to do. That's the main story here. I heard she may be going to NXT. So will they try and break her? Definitely.
Okay. All right. And lastly, Chelsea Green, who was just released by the WWE, said that she pitched a whole bunch of different, gimmicks to the WWE. I'm gonna run a couple of these by you, Ben. See if any of these work out for you.
Yeah.
And she was on some podcast here. I think it's Cultaholic Wrestling Podcast, and she said, "Oh my gosh, I had so many ideas. Like I pitched. No, I'm sorry, she didn't talk that way.
Yeah,
she said that she had a Daisy Duke character." She had a sexy nun character for the Messiah Seth Rollins.
That's interesting. I think that could have got over.
Okay. She also pitched to be Dominic Mysterio's girlfriend. She also pitched a storyline where she was part of a group called the Triconic, where she joins the Iconics, where she's the crazy one, and she wanted to do the Laurel Van Ness version. Like she was going to be part of the two girls, the Iconics, and then be part of them, but then just lose it and be crazy and all nuts.
It's going to be tough. Billy Kay would have to tone it down, and Billy Kay's kind of got that same energy, which I don't mind having two of them like that. But I like the Seth Rollins thing. I think she could have added there. It would have turned it into more comedy, but there was teeth there with that Messiah thing. But Seth doesn't know how to get shit over and commit to a bit. He just doesn't. And to me, I mean, the Laurel Van Ness character work is the best. We've talked about this plenty of times.
Absolutely.
But the biggest miss, and I can't believe she didn't pitch it because I wanted to have a meeting with her. It just didn't work out. She's like, yeah, let's hook up and talk. But the Karen, what Sue Young is doing with the Susan shit, the Karen thing is ready-made for fucking Laurel Van Ness. And it never got there in WWE. They're doing Antifa. They're doing Proud Boys with Riker and those guys, but you're not going to have the Karen in there. And that was what might have tied them all together and got shit over, and she would have absolutely knocked it out of the park with a Karen type character that way. So she's sexy, she's beautiful, and part of the cool kids club, and those things that she's pitching are good for WWE, not good, but like for WWE where she needs to go, that they would actually entertain it. That's the kind of stuff. But the reality is she was more into getting her body in shape because she really wants to be a Sports Illustrated swimsuit model, which if that's her dream, by all means, I know she can accomplish that. She's got the looks and the physique for it.
Yep.
And is at the right age for it too. But that to me is a short-sighted thing as opposed to you're in this business and what can really take me to where I need to go. Because even if she did the sexy side piece thing, how many of those do we see? We just seen Eva Marie come back. That's going to be done within 3 or 4 months.
She really came back. I didn't even watch that.
Yeah. I mean, that Carmella. I mean, we could just run down the list of shit that's not. They even got Mandy Rose, who's hotter than all three of them. And she's marginalized. So we're not even getting max value out of our hot girls. So if we got a half dozen of them who are already on the shelf, why would you kind of pitch yourself to be in that same thing? Because it's not going to give you longevity, character, opportunity to commit to a bit, to stand out. That's what gives you longevity. And that's what makes an impact where you're a Santino Marella and you don't have to do much and people know what's coming, but they look forward to it. I would have liked to seen that with a Karen character for her. That would be the number one thing.
Yeah, man. All right, Ben, this has been one hell of a 3 count.
Long one.
A long one. So we're going to run through NXT and why don't we where is the monkey in the truck? Hit the music, buddy. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, it is NXT 5/4/2021. Ben Hamin, this show started off. I got to say something really quickly, Ben. What the fuck, man? People were trying to kill themselves on this show. Just like I'm killing my ears right now, blowing this music in my fucking ears. Dude, wow. So many dangerous spots. Ben, there were a lot of fucking dangerous spots here, man. Even let's jump into the first match, man.
But none of them in this first were like, he killed them. You know what I mean? They were dangerous, but I wasn't like, oh, that dude, he's dead. There's big spots, but there wasn't like in the main where I'm like, oh, somebody's going to die here because they're incompetent. We kick it off with Swerve and Ruff paying off their business. A really great storyline since we've started watching. They built the heat better than probably any WWE show storyline that there is, except for maybe Roman stuff. So these guys are really committing to character and what they need to be.
Sure.
And this was a pretty awesome match, bro.
It was a great match. You and I were going back and forth, and I think I was texting you at the same time when you mentioned, like, how the fuck could they open with this? We find out later that they closed with a fucking crazy match as well. So they sandwiched 2 insane matches. I don't know how that really works in the.
That's bad. That's a bad call, bro. That's a bad call because now you have to compare. Like you have an insane match, don't have another one, because now you've just lessened what happened because it's watered it down for both of them. If we just would have had one on this week's show, one on next, people would have been like, holy shit, they all killed each other. You don't need to have two of something that are such a big draw that way. And this opener should have been in the main event. And that girls match should have been on next week's show.
That was a fucking pay-per-view level match. This is like
beyond that was takeover. Yeah.
I got to tell you real quick, guys out there who didn't watch the match, and I would advise you to go back because it was really fucking good. It was a good match. These two guys look like they absolutely hate each. Who knows? Maybe they do. You know, we don't know.
I don't know. I think these guys really like each other because they trust each other that much. I don't see like Brett Sean trying to outshine, dude. There's just a lot of things that I would never do. The poison rod off the fucking apron, and
what about
he gives him the Death Valley driver onto the fucking apron corner.
What about when Swerve picked him up and fucking threw him into the boards? No. Well, that too. But when he threw him into the corner of the ring, Cheeseburger. I keep calling him Cheeseburger. He looks. What's his kid's name?
Leon Ruff.
Leon Ruff. When he threw Leon Ruff into the fucking corner, and Leon Ruff's the middle of his back hits the corner of the apron, and he slides and drops down into his head. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, it was a great sell and probably a shoot sell. He does this. He fucking kills him into the lockers in the back. All kinds of shit, man. And dude, I gotta say, Leon Ruff's punches are some of the best in WWE.
He's fucking great.
Watch the girls match later, and they're doing these forearm gloms. Like they don't even know how to punch. You're going, dude, if you stepped in a fight and hit somebody with a limp-wristed glom, you're dead. And and these girls are acting like they're the top fucking stars. So when it comes to even basic fundamentals, before we're doing Death Valley drivers into the apron, Leon Ruff, when he had Swerve upside down and he's feeding them, boom, all those right hooks looked fucking and shots looked real as shit and were really good. But this match is way too much to start the show off with because nobody can follow this, bro. No one can follow this. But these guys put it all out there, and then Swerve's entourage comes out, and what DJ Khaled catches
AJ Francis.
DJ Khaled, another one. And he catches them, and
that's funny.
You know, Swerve goes over using his crew. So if you got a crew and Leon Ruff doesn't, I think that's a great finish that way. And the finish was satisfying, but it didn't matter because these guys gave it their all. This was really a fucking stellar hardcore battle. They took big bumps, but they never didn't take care of each other. You know what I mean? Even like they agreed to it, but like the stuff that was there was definitely there.
Can I mention a production thing that really pissed me off? So WWE has this tendency to NXT. They do the whole picture-in-picture thing.
Yeah.
Right, when they go to commercial. Mm-hmm. So, all right. This annoyed me because when they finally made their way backstage, I was totally distracted by fucking Gimmick Jones selling Allstate and fucking Pizza Hut commercials and shit. And they're doing all the cool, fun shit backstage, and they have the little screen. Now, why can't they do the big picture of what's going on in the match without no sound?
Because you can't sell advertising space and go, dude, we're going to give you 20% of the screen.
I'm just
like,
saying,
okay,
dude.
But I'm also paying for fucking 20% of the price. Imagine if you fucking worked at Papa John's and be like, we better check and see how SmackDown's doing with our fucking commercials. And you just got a little thing in the corner and you spent $2 million. They'd be like, cancel that. We're not doing that anymore. Again, first world bullshit baby problems, right? Why can't during commercials I have my full show on at 80% and the commercial be 20%? Well, if you want to pay a premium price for NXT Plus, we can do that. But, you know, like, no, dude, this is how spoiled we've become from, and we'll be right back. And, you know, you got to wait till your show comes back on. We're now bitching about the percentage of screen time during commercial breaks while you're getting the show.
It's not that. It's just like they go to the backstage. And when you're doing a Falls Anywhere match, you know, the thing is going backstage, getting out of the ring. And then that was one of the most important parts for me in the match. And then they cut away to a commercial.
I would disagree with you, bud.
Really, man?
As a producer, that's the time to cut away in the arena is the time when people might be tuning in and stopping there. I get it that the peak of the match was that, and if there was a cut in the match, it's not something you want to do, but usually in an old 80s, 90s WWE match, guy grabs a hold. We'll be right back. We're going to commercial, right? And you choke him down so you can come back and see the Hulk up. This isn't that type of match where that's going on. So you kind of got to pick and choose which high spots are coming. And I didn't mind the cut there. And you got it in picture. So quit bitching, old man.
Whatever, and you can't. Apparently, I have. Like, what is this? What is Frank's? What is that's Ray's whiteness, con.
Classic white Ray.
What is this? You can't watch it.
You can't watch it live on the cock, pal. You don't tune in.
Yeah, pal. Anyway, great fucking match, dude. And we go into a segment where we have Johnny Gargano, Austin Theory, to try to interrupt the meeting with William. I was gonna say William Perry, William Regal. He got to bring. Oh, is William Perry alive?
Perry, I don't think he's coming out for this one. Shout out to Sergio, another OVW, DCW brother, former host of Next Level in the house. Great talent. Absolutely glad to see you in here with us, Serge. Hope you're doing well, buddy.
Yeah, man, no doubt. So we have them backstage, and Regal is in a meeting with Scarlett, and doesn't want to be interrupted. Theory, I got to put it over. It was a cute little thing. He's like, "Oh, those are huge. Those are big." It's the kind of like geeky, young college kid, focusing. You think he's focusing on the right thing, and he's looking at her nails when he's talking about her. Yeah, everybody's looking at her gimmicks, and he's looking at the giant nails. And I thought it was a funny thing. Did you like it?
Yeah, it was a funny little bit as far as there, because everyone's looking on it, and then he puts the nails over, you know what I mean? So a good little sight gag. I can't remember which movie that is from. I had it in my head last night, but they took it and reinvented it to their own. I don't know how I feel about, I mean, she's obviously gorgeous, and we've seen Scarlett Bordeaux in Impact. This young lady's dyeing their hair silver, and whether it's because of X-Men or whatever the fuck the Marvel universe is going on, she was way better as a platinum blonde. Not way better. She's still a smoke show, bro. Don't get me wrong.
Absolutely.
But I don't need that like alt fucking trend. Like, she's hotter as a platinum blonde, dude. Have her do that. And I also kind of feel she's kind of becoming a little bit of a repetitive one-trick pony of coming out and doing the lip sync to the song, and she's been doing it for a while. We need some new stuff to freshen her up. She's so easy on the eyes, but if she is the succubus, the fucking Medusa, right, then how do we invent some new opportunities for her to draw people in for Killer Cross to kill? And,
I was gonna say something real quick before I forget my train of thought. And I know we're jumping way ahead, but there was a point where Killer Cross does get attacked. We'll talk about this, and I was like, why is she not coming in and scratching somebody in the eyes with those nails that they just put over?
Absolutely,
I just didn't get it. But we'll talk about that later on, Ben. We'll talk about that later. We're gonna move a little quickly here, Ben. You know what time it is? It is time.
Whoa! I'm going to the top. And I'm going to the moon. Whoa! Yeah!
Yes, it's Cameron Grimes time. And let me tell you something, man. That dude is my favorite. He's my favorite thing to watch here at NXT. We have Asher Hale versus Cameron Grimes. Now, again, Ben, whenever I watch a match like, and Cameron Grimes does go over here, he hits him with the knee gimmick for the finish. But whenever I watch a match like this, I always focus in on the enhancement talent. So, you being somebody who has, you've been through Rip Rogers, you've been through Al Snow, you've put together shows, you've done everything in the business. I like to ask you.
Well, not everything. I haven't been on camera in a major company, so I'd say I haven't done everything.
Well, you've done mostly everything. More than most of the people actually right now.
I've put in my time. I put in my time.
Put in your time. So my question to you is, Asher Hale. We know Cameron Grimes is awesome. Mm-hmm. What did you think of Asher Hale, man?
I was very impressed with him because I thought this was going to be a get-over match, and people were ribbing, calling him a knockoff of Darby a little bit. But the guy's got
CM Chump.
CM Chump and Darby. But, he's got a good look. And he looks like a dude who'd be like a henchman in a Batman thing that's like close to the Joker. You know what I mean? So he's got a marketable look.
A member of Sammy Callahan's group.
He'd be great there as well. Fantastic. I agree. Definitely super talented and athletic, but it's time for Grimes to shine. And I thought this match was going to be way shorter. Grimes and him went, and it's not 50-50 booking, but they went equal back and forth, and Grimes was on the sell for him, so his win meant more, and he got this kid over instead of Grimes just being, hey, I'm the strong alpha character, you're going to do business for me. I thought this was a really great match, and I was like, damn, who's going to follow that opener? What did these guys not do in this match, right? Here's a little wrestling quiz for you. What didn't they do that almost every other match does in wrestling now?
I didn't see them leaving their feet too much.
They bumped for each other.
What I'm saying is I didn't see a lot of high spots during this match. I didn't see I saw a lot of good chain wrestling that was fun.
That's great. Where didn't they go?
They didn't go outside, Ben.
Outside the ring. They stayed inside the four corners, and they went up to the top once or twice, but they stayed in the ropes because those guys in the first match just went all around the arena. So how you follow that? Well, how do you follow that? You follow it with a more classic wrestling style or characters, because if the Young Bucks were on a 2CW show and they had to do a get your shit in match all over the place, I might be up second because I'm going to go out there with old school character and kind of cleanse the palate. I'm going to reset the show. And Grimes has old school character. He has all of the fucking insane flipping, get your shit in wrestling ability. And so does this other kid who did a great job to do business for him. But this kid kind of not got made, but he's on the radar a bit more based on the quality of match that he had with Trevor Lee and showing me that, hey, I might look like an indie guy who has to get my shit in, but we can actually wrestle here. And this was when they say go follow that, okay, they did follow it with the right thing. Even though I don't like that match in the opening spot, this was the right choice to do it, and it was damn good, dude. Both these guys were damn good.
Well, let's also fast forward to the Cameron Grimes. Since we're talking about Cameron Grimes, we don't have to do it later. This was a segment later in the show with Cameron Grimes.
Oh, yeah, it's fucking great.
Dude, I got to tell you something, man. I rarely laugh out loud at something. And by the way, I didn't know, is this kid Asher Hale a friend of the Hardys? Is he trained by the Hardys?
This might be the North Carolina clique. I don't really know him from the Northeast, so there's a good chance of that. I just haven't done my research on him, but good on the dude, man. He was there for everything. All of his strikes look good.
Yeah, he looked great.
Look good. He was doing exactly. If I was a producer and I knew I had that big thing set up front, I would be more thankful for what those guys did, because that match being solid made that first match mean even more like, holy shit, you know what I mean, afterwards. So
absolutely,
they did the perfect job to not just enhance themselves, but enhance the entire experience of the show, which is what we should be striving for. And sometimes you have to humble yourself to go, those guys just did everything. We're not going outside the ring at all, because that will belittle what they just did. Oh, yeah, especially absolutely. When we know the main event's going to do a get your shit in 5,002.
Well, let's quickly jump into the segment where we have Cameron Grimes, guys, and he's trying to get into the VIP lounge. He's a big guy, big fucking security guard, and
who's that big son of a bitch? Look at him.
Yeah, well, he's probably a worker. I
mean, he's a signed guy for NXT. He's just green, and they just use him in a scene right now to get him on camera. It was a good choice. And I like when he's jumping up to shout in his ear. that fucking made me laugh.
Well, what's happening is Cameron Grimes wants to get into this club, but he can't, because the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, he actually rented
out the club for the
entire club. So I wouldn't be surprised if Cameron Grimes actually comes out to the ring with this big guy eventually down the road as like a security guard. Maybe he hires him.
But I don't know. I don't think he needs that, dude. But here's so DiBiase laughs in his face and goes into the club. Then we do a drone shot, pull back, and Grimes is fucking screaming, flapping his arms, dude.
That's the part that made me laugh, dude.
Dude, great stuff. If it feels weird,
do it.
Do it more.
Do
it more. Turn the volume up on it. It's ridiculous, because we can always get another shot where we go, that was too much. But sometimes too much is like, oh, I liked how much they turned that up, instead of just him storming off and harumph, But like, that was a great end to that scene. I feel like that's Paradise.
I was going to say
that could be Borash too, but that feels like Paradise and Borash working together. And That's why it stands out. And this was good, but I keep saying to myself, not saying keep saying because we've only seen him for 2 weeks. You've got $1 Million Man there. Kind of dangerous, even though it fits into the storyline with what's going on with his son. Did he use the money that they stole from Alabama welfare to rent out the club? That's sketchy. But what's the payoff with having $1 Million Man there? Grimes can't fight the $1 Million Man, so $1 Million Man's going to have to come up with somebody of his own that's going to have to go fight Grimes. You'd wish it was his kid, but that ain't happening. So I don't know who is going to be managed by DiBiase, or we're just doing these vignettes where we have them for X amount of time, and that's what the rub is, and it'll never pay off. I always want the payoff, but sometimes you're like, hey, we got DiBiase for 48 hours. Let's go shoot 5 vignettes. Sometimes that's just the way it goes, you know.
I tell you, I think eventually Ted DiBiase is going to take Cameron Grimes under his wing. And he will take him to his jeweler and have him develop a new $1 million title, which Cameron Grimes will defend.
I'd like to see. I don't know if I need all that.
Bitcoin belt, Ben. The Bitcoin belt.
The doggy coin belt would be great.
Yeah, with a poodle on it.
But I think it's better, and this would be a rib on him too, if in some way he draws him in. But he also fleeces him in some confidence scam, and $1 Million Man takes all of Cameron Grimes' money, and he's back to square one as Jethro again.
Are we talking about like the Ponzi scheme that all those billionaires went down? What was it? I can't remember.
Enron?
Was it Enron, the guy that died in jail?
Oh, Bernie Madoff.
Yeah, like a Bernie Madoff type gimmick.
Yeah, I think that'd be better, bro. So instead of like, let's reinvent the $1 Million Champion, you know, because really Cameron Grimes is still a redneck dirtbag character. He's just with money, you know, and $1 Million Man was a little more high society.
Well, here's the deal. What you can do is you can build Cameron Grimes to that point where he has $1 million belt, and then eventually he has to go hawk it. He has to go to a pawn shop, and because he lost all his money, so he has to sell it. And
I wouldn't even say he goes to sell it. And you know what the hot thing is? Not a hot thing, but on World Star, what people do with ice and shit like that. Have you seen those?
No.
So these little fucking hip hoppers who think they're about the culture and spending money on ridiculous, stupid shit that they don't need. They have diamond checkers. So they'll go up and fucking check like somebody's necklace, and like it's chipped glass, you know what I mean, or whatever. It looks like diamonds, so they can be like, "Oh, you're from." But I'd be like, "Fuck it, dude. It looks like diamonds. I didn't spend $200,000. I spent $1,200, and it looks the same way." But they had like that's some clout bullshit. I actually saw one kid go up to his teacher's ring in high school and check it, and it came, and she's like, "What is it?" And he's like, she calls her fiance, "Yo, is this ring real?" And shit.
Wow.
Like, she got hot for real. But that's what he needs to do, like get the belt, and Grimes thinks it's whatever, and he needs to take like a deposit or something from it, and $1 Million Man takes that money and leaves, and then Grimes goes to sell the belt, and they check the belt, and it's not real diamonds, it's all chipped glass, and he can only get $100 for the fucking belt or something like that, you know? So like that's how I can see it getting to that point, but he needs to be duped and bamboozled. And then that's a double rib from The Office of giving Ted a shot, but also saying that your family's a bunch of scammers that will fuck anybody out of money. Right.
Oh man, that was over, man. You know, we got Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher versus grizzled young veterans. I'm getting a phone call here. Fuck it. This was another good match, man. I enjoyed this tag team match. What did you think of this match, Ben? We have Thatcher who hits Gibson with Barrett's shoe. So basically,
that was bad. This was a really good match until the finish. Bro.
The finish was a little shitty. Well, what happened was, guys, you know, Bendelum breaks out and shit, and then Barrett mentions that he lost his shoe because they went through a table or whatever the fuck happens at the end of the match. It was crazy. And then Thatcher takes the fucking size 13, smacks Gimmick Jones over the head with it. Hits his fin, makes the dude tap out in his strangler hold, or whatever the fuck it's called, the arm breaker. Right. So what didn't you like about this?
Who's the baby faces?
See, this is what's happening in NXT, and I was going to ask you about this. There are a couple of people here that I don't know if they're good guys. I don't know if they're bad guys.
Tommaso Ciampa's a baby, bro. He's a fucking full-time baby. And I was surprised Tommaso had the hot tag comeback instead of fucking instead of taking the heat and Thatcher coming in and killing people. So Thatcher takes the heat. So that's one place where I'm like, okay, I see it. I think Tommaso will be a little better, but Tommaso looks great, so it's believable. And then when he comes in and ping pongs back and forth and really picks up the kinetic energy in the match, that was really good. Because at first I was like, really? Thatcher's taking the heat? That's weird. Because I've seen Tommaso and Johnny do it so well in ROH and early on in their careers here. So the Grizzly Young Vets were doing a good job that way. I liked it. But then to do that spot and have the babyface come in and hit with a shoe behind the back on a distraction is a total heel spot, bro. And the Grizzled Young Vets are definitely the heels in this match. And Thatcher's a fucking shooter. Why would he need to fucking use a weapon to beat these guys that aren't as high profile, I think, as him tagging with Tommaso? He's more made, you know? So what should have happened is heels, Grizzled Young Vets, do the distraction thing, and with Tommaso, and Tommaso's smart enough to get that there to do that. And as soon as old boy turns around from that, Thatcher should, you know how Benoit would take people down for the crossface with the arm bar, push down and then lock it in quick.
Sure.
Thatcher should have hit that dude with that as soon as he turned around, ha-cha, right into a shooter hold and submit, because we know Thatcher has got it like that with, you know, man of 1,000 holds. Why would your shooter, who's a babyface on a misdirection spot, need to use a weapon that's not – the only way that that's acceptable to me is if they hit him with a fucking boot, you know, in weeks earlier. And last week in the promo, and maybe I don't know this, maybe you guys can school me this, because last week in the promo, Tommaso had his boot off and fucking hit him upside the head with it too. So I just
did he? I don't remember that.
He did when they came in on him. So I don't know if the shoe thing is a fucking ongoing thing that I'm not seeing, but a baby face on a misdirection should not be using a weapon unless it's retribution in a bigger storyline. He should have just done the jump up, distracted him, come back in and get caught by the shooter, and he taps out, because they worked a great arm and shoulder heat story. So his arm was fucked up. So all he'd have to do is get him in a Fujiwara arm bar, a fucking Kimura or something along those lines. And it's believable you tap. They worked heat on your fucking shoulder the whole time. Instead, we get a shoe. Wrong choice after a fucking great match.
Well, I don't disagree. And also we have the vet who agrees with you. He says, because Thatcher's comeback is ass.
The W's in the house. I picked up some Anchor coin this morning, bro. Appreciate that tip last night. I'm going to try and get a little bit more, if bank account permits. But appreciate that tip, man, and trying to pass those words of wisdom and those tips along to the rest of Hamin Media Group so we can all grow together. But I just want to say thank you to the W.
No doubt.
Gots to check out the W. Gots to check out.
Ben Hamin.
Yo.
TikTok.
Yeah, man.
The NXT World Heavyweight Champion of the world, of the whole world. Karrion Kross comes out, and when a guy grabs a microphone, I am always totally entranced by what he has to say. But he is interrupted.
Sorry, I gotta interrupt you. Thank you, Vet, because I know there was something with the shoes off thing. If you hate Gibson, shoes off, and then the crowd would take them off and hold up their shoes. So there is an ongoing thing here. But
what is that? Do you know what that is?
It's a UK, the UK's got their own special fucking, way that they do things, the soccer hooligan type style thing. So I see that's a thing. But here in this, if you really wanted to do the spot, I wouldn't have hit him with the shoe then. I would have come in with it, deked with the shoe, watch him cover up, drop the shoe, and get my shooter shit in, because a babyface shouldn't be using a weapon like that, bro. I'm not dead set against it. I just don't think it was the best choice there.
There are a couple of people on this show who I have no idea whether they're good or bad. I mean, in the context of the pro wrestling world, but neither here nor there. We do have Karrion Kross, who I still don't think he should be a babyface, even though he's over. I mean, he's over whether he's a bad guy.
There's too much money written on him, bro. You can't make him a heel. You can't. You look at him compared to everybody else. Even if he was doing dastardly things, you're like, this motherfucker's a star, you know. So that's just how it is.
While he's cutting his promo, Tangerine Cassidy comes out. Kyle O'Reilly, and cuts a shit fucking promo, dude. Like this dude.
And then Pete Dunne does too. Completely wrong promo.
Pete Dunne comes out, right here, and he's cutting the promo. And I'm like, what the fuck, dude? These guys suck. And then Finn Balor comes out. He interrupts. And he's like, basically, you fought this guy, but you never fought me. And everything goes crazy. Fucking Gargano comes out with fucking Gimmick Jones, and they fucking attack.
Let's hold up here for a minute. Like, I just hear that old Sesame Street. One of these things is not like the other. One of these things does not belong. Right? Like, and that's Killer Cross. But like, really,
dude, he looked like a monster. Did he not look like a giant?
Because these are boys playing pro. These are boys who loved wrestling their whole lives, and they worked on the indies to get to this point. And then the indies.
Heidi reviews perfectly said.
Cross versus the midgets. Killer Cross is a star with millions of dollars written on him. Kyle O'Reilly is a guy who works at Auntie Anne's Pretzels in the mall. You're not going to come out in a throwback. Hey, remember when in grunge when these red flannels were in when Pearl Jam? Oh, how old were you when that was going on? Oh, I was 4. Oh, so that's definitely in your wheelhouse. Oh, that's a nice Easy E shirt you got on there too. How old were you when Easy Does It comes out? Oh, I was 5 years old. Oh, yeah. I'm sure you were listening to it. Hey, that's a nice douchebag fedora that nobody's going to relate to, so you can act like you're pop culture, and then just wear some skinny jeans, and then you're going to go out there next to a guy who's got 120 pounds of muscle mass and 8 inches on you and is a legit killer and looks like a star and expect like, let's give them the match they really want.
Nobody wants
nobody wants to.
You know what? Hold on.
When you put a guy
dummy, yeah.
I got to give it to him.
I'm not saying that this kid doesn't work his ass off, and
he's a good wrestler, Ben. It's just that when
he works hard in the MMA gym too. He's put in his time, but dude, this is a joke, and it makes like Killer Cross. It brings Cross down to like even entertain these guys. Then Pete Dunne, who's on the fucking B12 diet as well,
is he?
Dude, he's lost like 30 pounds. He's fucking shredded now, but it's no joke. I mean, he's covered in zits. It's blatant that he's fucking gassed out of his mind. It comes out to be like, I'm the fucking big man too. Yeah, well, maybe in 8th grade you were. But know who the fuck you're talking to and what Pete Dunne should be. And he's not, because he's not playing the underdog. He's playing, I'm a tough fucking shooter. Oh, yeah, okay, well, I hammer your ass into the fucking ground because I got 120 pounds on you, shooter. He should be the new Daniel Bryan, being the underdog. But instead, he wants to be Billy Badass. That didn't work at all. So these guys are delusional of who they really are on the pecking order inside of the show and how they can help get Killer Cross over, which should be their job. Right. And then here comes fucking Lucky Charms to fucking show, hey, I was a WWE champ, so that makes me the most credible. Well, you got sent to NXT, so you're really not that credible, to be honest with you. And all 3 of these guys, Killer Cross should have left them all laying, bro.
Well, I mean, he was beating the shit out of everybody. It was 12 against 1. It's the whole adage. Can 1,000? What was it? Can 20 Matt Shaffers beat up 1 Ken Shamrock?
No, and that's what you just saw right there.
Right. Well,
and then that's bad. That's bad booking to highlight Cross of who he is, to even have those guys in the ring with him, to come down, that they would have the balls to get in the ring and go to Killer Cross's face. I'm the one you want to fight. That lowers Cross. Those guys should be terrified of fucking Cross, and nobody's coming out. You know what I mean? And Cross should have caught his promo, and that none of those guys that came out should have come out. And then a Keith Lee comes out.
Sure.
Then somebody who's a fucking legit, or that's where Daniel Bryan comes out and fucking is the one.
Society reviews Moose's contract with Impact Wrestling is done this summer. Moose versus Cross and NXT would be money. I agree, dude.
Sure.
Moose is a guy that
yes,
but Moose is a guy that I I think they won't do it, but he needs to go straight to the main roster. He's that good. Karrion Kross is another guy that could have went straight to
a purebred athlete, bro. You know what I mean? That's like
amazing.
a blue chipper no matter what.
Yeah,
and he's in insane shape too.
Yeah, man, he looks great. Anyway, let's move on, man.
Yeah, here's the money. Here's where I would have Kross off of fucking NXT now, because
but you need
him being out there with those indie guys. Him being out there with those indie guys is it hurts him. Like, he's way above all those guys, bro.
Right, but you still need a draw for, like, who's the draw? Finn Balor? You know what I'm saying? You need to sell tickets.
Daniel Bryan. You send Daniel Bryan to NXT, and Daniel Bryan versus Bruiserweight versus Kyle O'Reilly versus Bobby Fish, leading to Adam Cole. That's where the money is to keep the draw. But putting Kross, who's is a next level star, you just look at it, bro. You go, no, because when he's out there, you look at guys who have tons of skills, but you look at Pete Dunne and go, no money on him. No money on Balor. He couldn't stay up there. And then Killer Kross, like, why are you even here with these fucking guys? He just needs to be up. And what are they doing with Orton right now? RK, bro. Come on, man. Come on.
Dude, so I haven't been watching SmackDown much.
Yeah, he's tagging with Riddle in a fucking like he's trying to be cool while Riddle's the fucking goof, and I guess it works. The Odd Couple comedy pairing, and it's just the money is Killer Kross versus Randy Orton for the fucking most sadistic motherfucker on the entire WWE universe. That's what we need.
Can you imagine Killer Kross like fucking Roman Reigns has beat everybody, and then Killer Kross stepping up to him to end his near TikTok, all this shit? That shit would be fucking fire.
It'd be good, but I would get him over beating Orton first.
Okay, well, I don't know. I think there's more of an impact if he just fucking shows up to challenge Roman Reigns, out of the blue. TikTok. You have vignettes coming, for like 2 or 3 weeks straight. TikTok. Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, people know who he is now, dude. I think it's just a setup of scenarios, All
right, let's run through this real quick. We have Zeta Ramier versus Saray. Saray, these two girls beat the fucking shit.
No, one girl beat the shit out of the other girl.
Saray beat up Ramier.
She sucks.
So bad, dude.
She sucks, bro.
Who sucks?
Saray.
I told you she sucked, Ben.
Dude,
I told you she was nothing special. I was like,
what's the other girl? Zoramia? Is that her name?
Zeta Ramier. I like that girl.
Zeta Ramier, yeah. It's like I think she's got good stuff too, but she doesn't know how to protect herself. Bro, she comes in on the drop kick. Saray follows her in.
Oh my God.
The girl comes up, doesn't even get a chance to take a step off of the fucking ropes. And the drop kick is right there. Instead of letting her take a step, feet out, get her hands up. So we're doing Japanese wrong style, stupid idiot style to not protect anybody. And the girl who's taking it isn't protecting herself. She hit her with 3 fucking drop kicks. Every one of them was shoot. Even when she's selling on the ropes, comes in and gives her the baseball dive slide one right in the fucking face too, bro.
God.
So, and then she's like cheering for herself after the match, putting it over, instead of being like, I just killed this chick for all the wrong reasons, because this should be a babyface fight. And instead it's just more absolute terrible. Hey, they did it in Japan, so it must fucking be cool, right? Wrong. Breaker. You got to break that horse, bro, and say, this is not what we do here. You've been taught wrong at fucking Ice Wing Academy or whatever the fuck they were putting over. And dude, whatever, if you're Asuka 2.0, okay, but you better learn how shit is really done in wrestling. Just because you come from an island where these fucking Meltzer marks put shit over does not mean you are good. And last night, the way she didn't take care of her opponent, the way she wasn't staying in the middle of the ring, letting her to come back and feed for her so it was safe and look good, proved to me that this girl doesn't have the fundamentals to know what she's doing out there, bro.
Dude, I gotta tell every Japanese chick not named Asuka needs to be deported in wrestling. That's great society reviews.
Or they need to be imported and not put on TV and trained properly, because whatever they're doing at Ice Wing Ching Chong School over there ain't fucking happening.
Bro, that this shit, every time she fucking hits a fucking big move or whatever, and she's screaming. God, so annoying.
And they're in the middle of a fight, and the baby face, who is Saray, locks her up in a fucking leg lace lariat back bend, get her on the chin. I'm going, I just watched UFC for the last year straight.
Right.
Have you ever seen anybody do a leg lace lariat and do a back bridge to fucking get somebody in a submission?
Sure,
no.
Ben.
That's more phony ass fucking Japanese wrong style wrestling. And after we've just seen Thatcher do a bunch of Kimuras and try and get the crossover, this girl who's supposed to be the martial arts shooter is stunting for herself like a heel, where she's getting another baby face in a submission so she can pose for the camera. And again, that's more anime wrestling that is against everything that we've already created on this show in a reality. We had a fucking hardcore fight. We had a legit in-ring match. We had fucking a tag team match where the guys are going back and forth. Now, no, it's anime time, everybody. We're going to Dragon Ball Z the shit out of this. Well, you can drag my Ball Z until you fucking learn how to do this shit right, because that was all wrong, bro.
Yo, that is, I told you, Ben, there was a lot of dangerous shit, and this match was the epitome of dangerous, like you said, not protecting her, the person she's in the ring with.
She sucks, bro.
I told you, dude. I said, dude.
What's bad though is like the moves are fundamentally there, but the psychology is trash, man.
That poor girl. I don't think she was selling. I think she was just fucking getting.
Bro, she was knocked out after that first kick. You saw the ref back off Sare and had her in the corner. And then it was time for that girl to come and get her little package in. But they had to check on her because she fucking cleaned her clock. But it's also on that girl, because when you come in for a drop kick, you turn your head and fucking get your hand up, boom, and it's there. Boom, I'm taking the bump. I'm not coming in like this and walking at you, but I know 1 step, 2 step, pow, and then I'm going to bump off of that. Instead, it was 1 step, I'm dead. I don't even have time to get my fucking body in order, and I'm so close to the ropes, I'm probably going to bump into the rope and fuck my neck up too. So lost in translation, my man.
Yeah, I agree, man. Hey, but you know what we got? We got L.A. Knight.
I say dummy, yeah.
We got LA Knight versus Jake Atlas. And Jake Atlas, Ben, what'd you think of this kid? I mean, he goes down, he gets hit with the BFT for the 1, 2, 3, the front face DDT. That old rhyme, by the way. What did you think of Jake Atlas in this match, man?
I thought he did good business for Eli Drake. This is going to be your quick get over. And Eli's kind of the old school worker. He did that good jump up and got both feet to the top rope to come back down before he hits his stuff. But what we're not getting to show Eli Drake is what he does best, which is promo and belittle people. Instead, we're showing him wrestle here, where we've already seen too much wrestling. So this was good, but it was one of the more forgettable segments on the show because we've got so much dynamite packed into the beginning and end of it. This was a little bit more filler, but these guys did well and took care of each other. And Eli hit his finisher a lot cleaner than we saw the other week on the dude feeding in. So I was glad that he got over. He looks great. And I just say to myself, dude, Eli Drake, he's ready for TV too, but what are you going to do? Put him up on the main roster? Because they're going to do the same thing they did with him with Elias. Like, he's got money written on him, and they're not going to do anything properly with him. So I don't know.
Let's hear from Tony Cakes.
Yeah.
Zoe Stark, you're really pissing me off. You're what's known as the flavor of the month, and may I say, you're losing your taste pretty damn quick. You don't deserve to be in the same ring as me. You don't deserve to be in the same locker room as me. Hell, you don't even deserve to be breathing the same damn oxygen as me.
Well,
I am a global superstar, former and future women's champion. You're a future nobody that soon everyone is gonna forget about. Zoe, I brought you into this business. And whenever I am ready, so help me God, I will take you right back out of it.
Oh boy.
Should we take me out? All right, man. That was a shit promo, Ben.
Yeah, it's NXT Developmental Wrestling 101. I've seen this at OVW 100 times. It's cookie cutter.
I hate it. I hate it. This is I will be triumphant.
Yeah.
By the way, I just started watching Game of Thrones, Ben, from season 1. Never saw it.
Good.
Jennifer
It
watched
takes
the
a
whole
bit,
thing.
bro.
Great.
Like, because you're watching 7 storylines build. By the time you get to like season 4, when they're all intersecting, you're like, wow, it was worth the fucking, interest in the beginning. Good for you.
I wanted to put it over because it's fantastic, my lord. Please, I'm going to finish talking like this the entire podcast, my lord.
All right.
Yes, your grace.
But yeah, they don't show Tony Storm's ass, which is the money, so that's wrong. Tony Storm's a global superstar. Okay, I want you to go to your local grocery store with a sheet of paper and a clipboard. I want you to ask 100 people. Do you know who Tony Storm is?
We all know she's a global superstar. Hello.
Oh no, we do, but go ask 100 people. I mean, around the globe. The Tony Storm is that name? No. So don't say that you are. That's just wrestling trope bullshit of I don't know how to cut a promo. I don't know where my character is. The other girl, Zoe, was good as the third person checking on her and whatnot. And so we're going to get that match in the setup of everything. She was probably really concussed back there on the floor after taking those kicks to the face. So that was about the most believable part.
Oh, yeah.
But we're not using Tony Storm how we should, and she's too sexy to be a heel, so that's wrong. But this is developmental, and I don't have a problem with it because developmental is where you get to try things and put it out there. But people look at NXT as a third brand, but it's not. It's just fucking developmental. So Tony Storm trying to find a voice as a heel is all right, and as a heel, you want to take things away from your audience. So not showing the ass is getting people hot because that's what they tune in to see Tony Storm for. But I just don't think sexy heels are a good thing because you're never going to hate them fully. And like super jacked heels aren't a good thing. You see Brian Cage trying to be a heel and you're like, dude, the guy's just too fucking impressive. Even if he's doing bad shit, I'm still impressed with him. And that's not what you want. Now you see Big Boss Man, a big fat bastard or somebody like that who's doing something, you really hate him. While Hogan's all jacked up and you can live vicariously through him. So we're not playing to our archetypes the right way.
All right, but we're going to jump into the main event. Before that, we have 2 quick promos. We have Legado del Fantasma, who cuts, I think, a fantastic fucking promo. Even his 2 cohorts got in there. What did you think of this promo as Kushida interrupts on video and he says, "You are going to be next"?
Yeah, I thought Kushida did a decent little job here. I thought the guys looked good in their suits. It was a nice suit old boy had on. And even the second in command guy cuts a good ass promo too.
He did.
I was kind of scratching my head a little bit that way. I mean, we want to get them over and give them mic time because it's developmental because we want to get them ready. But if you're looking at it as an overall TV show, the henchmen don't cut the promo on the big boss. You know what I mean? Pablo Escobar doesn't say his shit and then pass the mic to the second in command. So I don't know if I would have written it that way. Larry Hernandez got a good point. Rick Rude also pulling chicks out of the crowd, kissing them. You kind of liked Rick that way, and he was super jacked. So there's exceptions to every rule in playing the heel and how you work. But if that might not be a very bad thing, Larry H. How can we make Tony Storm into Rick Rude with the ass of like maybe she shines up her ass or something and she's got a personal ass
I'll
shiner.
take that job. I'll take that.
But like no one can touch it, you know what I mean? So how can we play the Rick Rude kiss game with her ass? I don't know. There's something there. We just got to figure it out. That's a good point. But
how come she can't have a kiss my ass club? Shit.
Right? That's what I'm saying, you know? Yeah. So but when it comes back to these guys, there's money on Escobar. Yeah. You know,
agreed.
But again, are you going to take them up to the main roster and do what they've done with Andrade and Garza?
Here's the problem. Again, Legado, the guy is fantastic. The Fantasma, he's fantastic. He's just fucking 5'6", and that's what kills him for me.
Sorry. That's a problem, right? That's a problem.
If the guy was 5'11", if he was 6 feet tall, this guy would be fucking on the main roster right now, man.
But I think you had a great idea last week, bro.
What's that?
Like,
I don't even remember.
The whole gimmick is sure the size hurts him, but he's great on the mic and he's ready for Netflix, whatever, El Chapo series, you know, like, but he's not. He's in wrestling. So you can't take him up there and put him up against a Drew or you can't just, we don't want to put him against Lucha House Party with a pinata or whatever the fuck. The money is him recruiting Dominic away from his father and Ray coming back in, having to do that kind of shit, you know, like that's really what it is. And that's a story that's been probably told in some really great movies where the gangster lifestyle, the guy's nice, you like him, but he's recruiting a younger dude. I mean, it's Bronx Tale. It's Bronx Tale 101, right? Do it with Latinos. That's the whole thing. That's the whole story. And that could be a great 3 to 6 month fucking journey, man.
Yeah, no doubt. And speaking of Latinos, we end with the last talking segment here. We have Rachel Gonzalez and Mercedes Martinez, and they're cutting, they're jibbing back and forth. And I'm not going to look at you on the screen. I just wanted to tell you real quickly, I thought this was terrible also.
They're trying, bro. I mean, this is trying, you got to get reps in. You got to get reps.
I get you're Latina and all that stuff, and it's cool, man. Throwing out the Spanish here and there, just no chiquita and shit like that. That shit is corny. I'm Latino, and there's certain things that you don't say and the things you do say when you're fucking heated at somebody. And these terms that they're using are stupid. I think they both sounded like they were reading off a teleprompter, and a part of me felt like they recorded both things individually and they kind of pieced it together. That makes sense.
Yeah, I don't think they did. They were probably sitting across from each other, or else in separate rooms. But
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, this is girls who've learned to wrestle on Shimmer, Shine, at AAA, wherever they came from. The one girl goes, in 1 year's time of my career, I've accomplished more than you. I go, oh, please don't ever say you only have 1 year experience in the wrestling world.
She buried herself and she buried
dude, that was bad.
Not good.
That's a bad look. I wouldn't have let that get to TV. And the problem is with NXT, and I've seen these when they were leaked early on, when Solomon Crow was doing his thing, where they're all sitting there and it's about the time cues, and the vet and Sergio know this. We do it at OVW, and you sit there and they hold up. Here's 30 seconds left. Here's 10. Here's 5. And you got to take it home at that. And then everyone, like Pavlov's dog, no matter what you said, if you hit your 1 minute time cue, they all start clapping. It doesn't matter what, so these girls have kind of been conditioned in this system that I feel is broken in a lot of ways. Yeah. And thinking that what they did was A+, and, they've got a long way to go when it comes to developing their own voices. And that only comes with getting in. This is Rip Rogers. You're going to get up and practice promos for 20 minutes every day. You're in the car. Why aren't you promoing while you're driving in the car? Promo everybody in the locker room. Let me come up with interesting things of why I have heat with all these people and how can I get my opponent over while I'm saying good things about myself and da-da-da. Instead, they were just talk, and the words were all wrong in how to build this thing of, I made the mold that you are fitting into now. Really? Do we really look at Martinez and say you're the one? Oh, she's just like her. You're not even established. So it doesn't, and that's kind of the same thing that Tony Storm did too. Like, I brought you into this world, I'll take you out. Okay, Bill Cosby, let's fucking take it easy here. Let's get some real heat here instead of these tired old wrestling tropes that are just overplayed time and time again. And that's them being signed, not giving a shit about improving on their own outside of wrestling. Because how long were those girls on the show for tonight?
I don't know, a couple minutes.
A minute, 2 minutes.
Yeah.
They should know that's the small window that they have to get themselves over, and that all those words matter. None of those words mattered that either of them said.
Yeah, and Scott, I am Latino. How the hell you have to have a El Plaza put it over that my last name is Hernandez? I don't get it. Did you know that my half cousin on my father's side is actually Sean Hernandez from LAX? Did you guys know that? Nobody knew that. Take a look. Look at him. Look at his handsome face, and then look at mine. Anyway, it's true though. Let's jump into the main event of the evening, Ben, as we go home here. We got Shitzy Blackfart and Ember Groon versus Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. And Ben Hamin, we have new tag team champions here in NXT. These chicks beat the fucking shit out of each other. What about that spot where they had the fucking the what do you call it, the ladder, and the shit didn't break because both of them weigh about 100 pounds combined. The ladder did not break. Dude, this was a dangerous match. A lot of shit going on. Before shit, don't forget what's her name? Gimmick Joanna, Morrison's wife.
Frankie Monet.
Frankie Monet had the dog inside the tank, and the dog
dropped the deuce in there.
Shit. It was a big shit.
Yeah, dude. Because Shotzi and Ember do like a little improv line now and then that makes me laugh, even though they're doing predicated plotty stuff. That's fine because it's NXT. New tag champs, okay. Was this built to that level? Because we've seen with the way, and since we've been watching, you know, those two girls jumping Candice LeRae. That was a funny scene where she sat there silently and didn't act at all. Or didn't speak at all. That was great.
Sure.
But in the other girl, Indy Darling, whatever her name is, Indy Hartwell.
I like her, by the way, a lot.
Yeah, there's money written on her.
Yeah, she's good.
I don't think they should have gone over for the titles here.
Why not, Ben?
Not established enough as like dominant heels, and the slip over wasn't there. Like, I think they should have slipped on a banana. The money is in them slipping on a banana peel and losing the match. Them winning here doesn't do anything to elevate them to another level as a dominant heel tag team. They're already kind of established as a waka waka comedy heel thing, and that should have cost them in the end instead of going over strong. But this match went on 4 minutes, way too long.
It was a long match.
They did
15,
that big
right?
spot.
They did 15?
Yeah. They did that big spot, and then she tries to put her through the table, and that's almost a knockout thing. So they did the fuck off through the ladder. That was like, oh my God, that's where you take it home. The table spot is take it home, because what we've done is clear the way for the run in or the save on the big bump through what should have been through the ladder. Instead, they just bounce off and it looked devastating. But they should have been down and out, dead selling, boom through the table, finish 1, 2, 3. Instead, we do ladder, table, finish 1, 2, kick out. Let's go another 4 minutes of ridiculous high spots, because girls on the indies got to do violence just like the guys to show them that we's can do it too. Nope, you had us right there. You had us there for the go home, and then you blew all that work out your ass just to fucking do some more egregious, dangerous, dumb shit on the outside. Then nobody wants to see women taking these types of fucking bumps, but because they need to prove something that we can do it too. Yes, we can. It does it makes us like, all right, you took us out of the story, and their win meant a lot less because they went 4 minutes too long. They think they're doing the dips. That's not the dips. That's get your shit in for no reason, because you could feel it. They cleared the way with the ladder spot. Here's the finish. Give it to us. We went by it. There goes the bus. We're never going to have them as high as we had them right here. I hope they learn from that, because this is developmental to go half short, twice strong. Shave that 4 or 5 minutes, and this match would have been 10 times better.
Cujo, you were right, man. That spine buster on the ladder was also fucking
stupid. That's stupid. Bad. Why would you do that's get your shit in stupid to possibly hurt somebody, because that ladder's laying there flat. It can't flex, and you don't have more to drop to be able to protect yourself. Now you're just taking bumps that you're going to feel for possibly the rest of your life for no reason whatsoever, except for going, and then we're going to ratchet it up here. Because I've talked to Ciampa about this, bro. Sure. They don't look at it like how we did in OVW, which is why the system was broken in a lot of ways. They look at it as a ladder that we've got to keep climbing and climbing, climbing. Nope. You got to know where the fucking top of the ladder is and stop it there. You don't go, I'm going to add 5 more rungs. No, we've already reached the top of if you're climbing up a ladder to get to a top of a building and it goes up above the top of the building, you don't climb up 5 more to fucking before you jump off. You just take a step over and you finish what the job is right there. But instead they keep ratcheting it up to a level that well, this is what Tommaso and fucking Cole would have done, so we better do it too. Nope.
Well,
It's not right when they do it, and it's definitely not right when the girls do it.
I got to tell you, Ben, I was actually happy to see these two girls win the titles because honestly, and Ben, I haven't hid my feelings towards Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon. I think they're terrible. I don't like them.
I don't think they're terrible.
I don't like them, Ben, at all. I don't like them. They don't do it for. Listen, they don't. Shotzi doesn't do it for me at all. I don't see what the whole fucking big hullabaloo is about her. And Ember Moon, I don't know, man. It's just something about them that's cringy to me. I just can't wrap my head around it. Now you have Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell, and I get you. Yeah, they're doing the comedy spots and everything, but they're part of a faction in this company in NXT, which is gonna be the faction I think is gonna be taking some shit over. And don't be surprised.
Yeah, they got great talent.
Don't be surprised because you got him, you got those two girls now tag team champions. Gargano's your North American champion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't it be fucking funny if Austin Theory somehow slips in and wins the world title, and then Gargano is jealous of him moving forward? They can go that route.
I get that. I don't think they need to do that. And here's the thing,
because he's going to fight him next week.
Funny and getting over with character. What don't they need?
He's fighting Cross next week. But what did you ask me again? I'm sorry.
These girls. I don't think they need it because what belts are for who?
People without character.
And these girls have character.
They have plenty of character. They're both great.
So does Shotzi and Amber a bit, but why didn't they? I mean, I get the dog shit in the tank or whatever, but they should have come out in the tank. The crowd's conditioned to that, and they should have sold the shit when they get out.
Right.
Or maybe she's got shit on her boot, and then fucking she hits Candice LeRae in the end with a shitty boot, and she's fucking doing something like the opportunity to do comedy is what gets them over. So belts aren't going to do shit. No one's going to go Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell, a dominant tag team that no one should fuck with. Like, it's just not. It was a decision that was kind of like, okay. Then now they have belts, but I really just want to see how they're going to interact. So we don't need that kind of stuff, man. So, and we definitely didn't need this match on this show because it detracts from the opener. The opener should have been where this match was, and this match should have been next week. So they overbooked their own show, and it just decreased the entire experience a little bit by having that in there. And then that last 3 to 4 minutes that was overbooked past the finish makes your crowd go, this is too much, and I'm not into it as much anymore, dude. The 1, 2, 3 had, not that there's a crowd there, but it would have had 60% of the pop that they would have if they would have took it home on the through the table gimmick.
Yeah, don't disagree. Listen, all in all, Ben, I'm going to ask you every single week. You know, I'm going to do 1 to 5. Very simple. 1 to 5, man. What do you give this show? I give this show, because the first hour was really good, I'm going to give it a 4, man, to be honest with you. I would have changed the finish on the Tommaso Thatcher thing without the shoe. The first 2 things with, the Rough and Swerve, and then Grimes and forgive me on the blonde guy's name. I can't think of it. Starts with H, I think, too. Gimmick Jones is fine.
Yeah, that was really excellent. So there was a lot of good highlight stuff, and not that the girls didn't work their ass off. They just got to go half short, twice strong, and understand where their money is. The promos from these girls, I'm not expecting like groundbreaking work that we're seeing from at a level that Cross is at. But these smaller guys from Dunn and whatnot, you can't put them next to fucking true stars. And especially if they're trying to act like they're 6'4", it comes off as Napoleon complex. Bro, you're 5'9", you're 160 pounds. Cross will thump you 6 ways to fucking Sunday. All 3 of you. So don't come out here with your chest puffed out, because they're believing that they are that, and that's not playing into the money of who they should be. They have a very clouded vision of who they are in this business, because indie marks have fucking pumped them up, and they think that that's the norm. Well, when you get to the main roster and you're fucking Gable or whatever the fuck, you're Shorty G, you'll understand that you should have found your voice properly, because you might be all gassed up because you're working in Florida and you're not on the road. In your head, you think you're a fucking megastar, but didn't work. You know what else didn't really work, dude?
What's that?
It looked fucking cheap. was Imperium backstage with an iPad.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Having old boy talk to him in German. Dude, go get a goddamn Google Chrome and have it on a 64-inch fucking monitor with those guys having a real teleconference. That looked cheap and indie as shit, dude. Like that was a bad look too. So, I'll stick. Maybe I'll go 3 out of 5 now that I've talked myself down a little bit.
Well,
it's developmental, bro. They got to develop, and that's just what it is. That's why this isn't a third main brand. So looking from a developmental standpoint, I'll give it a 4 out of 5. Looking at it as a third brand, definitely 3 out of 5.
Yeah.
And the heat's on the agents and the booking. I don't know how Shawn Michaels and them are there, and we're getting 2 hardcore matches on one show. They should know that that's a one-time feature.
And people need to understand that this is, in fact, developmental. It is what it is. Third brand, I think not. But Ben, okay, we finished the show. This is another good episode of your Next Level podcast. Ben, can you please put over your social media and let's get out of here in the next 2
man,
minutes.
at Ben_Hamin on Twitter. You can get at me at Hamin Media Group and at Hacker Hamin on the gram. Sometimes I post, not a ton, but new adventures coming, you guys, with Realm and our own website and a lot of work.
Yeah, no doubt. Again, ladies and gentlemen, head over to patreon.com/Hamin Media Group. Again, patreon.com/Hamin Media Group. We got some great things, Ben. I'm excited about the new platform we're going to. What is that again, Ben?
We're gonna be working with Realm, but we're also gonna have our own full website build out, and there's a lot of things with Realm that are gonna be huge for us all the way through 2022. So a lot of work. Yeah, man. I mean, the opportunity to break out of wrestling and develop entirely new brands and opportunities for us is going to be great. Just like I have Larry Hankin at patreon.com/Larry Hankin. I'm very thankful to be preserving knowledge of a comedic genius who's been in Breaking Bad, fucking Laverne and Shirley, Friends, Seinfeld, Escape from Alcatraz, El Camino. Like, this is where we're going next, and I'm excited for these opportunities, man.
Well, I'm excited, Ben, to come back next week for your Next Level. Let's take it to the next level, motherfuckers. Thank you so much for joining us here every single, Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. Again, give me a follow on social media at Big Ray Show. Oh, no, I'm not Big Ray Show. I'm at Big Ray Hernandez. Yes, my last name is Hernandez. Yes, I am Latino. Enjoy Cinco de Mayo, guys. Go out there, have a couple of tequila shots, guys. Have a couple of tacos, have a couple of tortillas, have whatever the fuck you want to have. Have a fucking ham sandwich if you want. Ben, we are out of here. Love you guys. God bless you. Take care of each other. And that's it. We are out.
YOLO.